Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I'm your host Captain Awesomeness, and today I'm going to do a revision of how to navigate through the track at the 2F2F Formula Karting Club in Lahore. Now it's been a few months since I've raced over there, about 2 months and 11 days, but who's counting? But I wanted to basically show you guys how to navigate through here with a little bit of, let's just say, cutting out the dry stuff, all right? So it'll still be just a navigation piece, but I'm trying to make it quick as I can. But before I start, guys, please do me a favor. Please hit thumbs up, please comment, please subscribe, and please share this channel with everybody you know. And before I really begin, I also want to give credit and a shout out to people who really deserve it. Credit first and foremost goes to my dear and loving wife, who has been very, very supportive of me and hasn't said no to a lot of the crazy stuff that I've been doing in terms of expenditure and spending time at my different go-karting tracks that I've gone to and letting me pursue my passion. So thank you very much, dear, for that. Now the shout out part. I want to send a shout out to everybody I happened to meet and make good friends with while I was at the 2F2F Karting Club track at Lahore, and that begins with people like Mir, Shahir, Hamdan, Ghasfar, Rafiel, Wali, Haris Zubair Khan and his family, Talha, Sultan, Dr. Badr, Azhar, Sahab, the two gentlemen who go by the name of H. I just remembered their first name starts with H, but they live in Uskaritan. Sorry guys, I can't remember your name right now. The group that does photography stuff, and I think they operate out of Model Town. I think one of the guys' name was Najib. I'm sorry, I can't remember the rest of you guys. I apologize for that. And many other folks that I actually happened to meet over at the 2F2F Club. On top of that, I also want to send a shout out to the safety staff over at the club. First and foremost being Sajjad, who is the head safety marshal over there. Man, I know that you probably can't understand English, but I hope somebody shows him this video and lets him know how grateful I am for the amazing time that he gave me there. On top of that, I also want to extend a shout out to the management over at the 2F2F Karting Club in Lahore, namely Farooq, whom I understand unfortunately is no longer there. Then there's Afaq, then there is Usman, there is Owais, and then Ashna. If there are other people who are there now that I didn't get to meet before, hey guys, I will be looking forward to seeing you sometime soon. I'm sure of that. Let's start talking about navigating through the track. So when you get on the cart, you see this white structure here? This is where all the carts are parked, and this is in the area called the pit lane. When you first get on the cart, you are sitting in the pit lane and you have to drive out of it, outside of the pit lane exit, and then get on to the track. When you do that, you got to take a full rotation around and then start on the straightaway. You see this white line that's going up and down? That is the start-finish line. So that first time you come out of the pit lane and get onto the track and make this rotation, that lap doesn't count. Why? Because you got to cross that start-finish line. So having said that, let's assume you made that rotation around. When you come across the start finish line, make sure that you are all the way to the left and you remain on the left as and when the track starts to take this left turn. When you get to the point where you see that pit lane exit, that's when you want to come out of that curb and stay to the center of the road all the way until you see how this apex is kind of like a later turn phase. You want to stay all the way in the middle until you see that the turn is beginning to get really sharp. So at that point, you want to ride the curb to your right and go full throttle out here until you get to the very end of the curb to your left. At this point, you're shooting straight down on the second straightaway and remaining on the left as much as possible until again you see a rather weird, it's not a semicircle, it's kind of like a cocked semicircle. I don't know how else to put that. But once you get to this point where you're beginning to see this turn, you want to come off the throttle, take a sharp right, up until where you can get your wheels to ride on the curb. So you take that sharp right and immediately get back on the throttle. That will position you in such a way where you can shoot right over that curb here and then get on to this curb that kind of takes you to the left. As you ride that curb, you want to then shoot yourself all the way out and begin your introduction into the double hairpin. How's this a double hairpin? Here's this one hairpin, and here's the next one, all right? So you go all the way out to the right. You'll notice that there are about 4 tires sitting out here. Once you get past the second tire, and these are just individual tires, I'm not talking about the stacked ones. Once you get past that second tire, you want to come off the throttle, you make a sharp left turn, and as you do, you will feel a little bit of drift, but try to minimize it. The point of that sharp turn is to make sure that you orient yourself such that when you're coming around this way, you can then get the nose to help you ride over the latter part of the apex of that first hairpin. You do that, you get back on the gas pedal immediately, and that will then take you out into the curb that will be to your right. I kind of did not draw this correctly, but the curb is right here, and you want to ride that curb. But remember, don't overshoot it, ride that curb. You ride it momentarily and then try to bring yourself back to the left to get into the second hairpin. Here you don't need to do anything other than just go full out throttle. You go over see how this is a perfect circle for this apex? You go over the curb here, and as you come out, you want to go all the way to the left. This will help you carry momentum, carry speed, gain more speed, and you stay here as much as you can until you start to see a curb to your right that introduces you to this section. So you ride over that curb and you stay all the way to the right until you begin to see this turn. This turn, my friends, is known as mitti chalk or dirt turn for those who don't understand Urdu. But you see that turn as you're right here, you get past this curb, the curb kind of ends a little prematurely. But the point is that when you get here, you want to ride the latter part of this curb. So you come off the throttle, you turn in, and then as soon as you turn in to get that nose just right, you ride that curb. You ride that curb full throttle, and then you shoot yourself out to a curb that you'll see kind of leaning this way. You want to take this curb as late as possible, but you want to ride that curb all the way out until it ends. As soon as it ends here, you begin to take a shallow turn into what this area is called the double left area. Here, you want to ride the tire just far away from the curb here. You don't want to be in the curb. You want to kind of give yourself maybe about 2 to 3 feet away from that curb. The idea being that you carry as much speed as you can to the outside, introducing yourself into the second part of the double left. Here, you then come off the throttle again, take that sharp turn, and then get back on the throttle such that you ride this latter part of the curb of the double left. This will make sure that you stay to the left as much as possible. Once you get past here, you will then see that this is kind of turning in pretty sharp, and again, this is kind of like a weird apex. You want to take the bottom portion of this apex right here. So you will ride that curb right here. It'll take you out slightly, but you want to make sure you come back to the inside of this turn as much as you can and as quickly as you can. The idea being that you want to use all of this to gain all the momentum you need. That turn is not so sharp. This whole area, by the way, is known as super elevation, but it's not really an elevation, to be honest with you. As you're coming around and kissing this part of the track, you will then see a curb coming up again. Here, you want to then start to move away and stay to the outside of this turn in order to introduce yourself into the chicane. So you come up here, and then you go straight in through the curb to your right. You want to ride it and then make a straight line into the left portion of this part of the chicane. And again, make sure your tire's right on that chicane's curb, and then you want to come all the way out into the curb right to your right. Once you land up here, you want to then start to make this shallow turn that gets you right past the center line of the start-finish line and then right back out again into the left side of the track. So that, in essence, guys, is how I navigate through the track each and every time. Just understand something, that when you're at this track, you have the Sodi RX8 to drive on. It is a 270cc kart. It does not require, in my humble opinion, any braking anywhere at all. All you need to do is make sure that you use the throttle, come off it, get on it in the areas that I told you. So that's important because the thing is, you're not going fast enough in the RX8 to warrant using the brakes. And in the video footage that you'll see right after this, you will see how when I am on the RX8, I don't brake anywhere at all. I just come off the throttle, go along. But when you are in a faster car like the SR5 that used to be at the track, you want to use the brakes, and you'll want to use them right here at the introduction of the hairpin at mid T-chalk, and then over here in the double left. Maybe sometimes you kind of want to use it right here going into the latter part because yeah, you're going pretty fast, like 50 plus miles an hour. So there is that. But anyway, that is how I was able to do a personal best lap time of 1 minute 10.6 seconds, and that too when it was super hot in Pakistan. I am sure that if I was there right now, this very second, I would have done a much better lap time, maybe probably lost a second off of my best lap time, which would be a great thing to do. Now, when you look at the top 10 list, guys, those of you who are enthusiasts, remember this, that all of those people who are in the top 10 weigh 150 pounds or less. I'm at 184 pounds. So remember that weight counts a lot. And since I am 50 to 60 pounds heavier than the fastest guy out there, who happens to be Mir, every pound accounts for 1/10 of a second. So 30 pounds is almost about 3 seconds that I could potentially be off from Mir. So his best lap time, congratulations by the way Mir, is 1 minute 7.6 or 7.5 seconds. I don't remember exactly how much it was, but it is pretty damn fast. All right guys, so hopefully you kind of got an idea as to what it takes to actually go around the track as fast as possible. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please reach out to me via Instagram or Facebook, and the links for them are down below. And I really hope that when I get back to Pakistan, I can see all of you, whoever you are, out there at the track. Until then guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye-bye.